Regarding the day of Tisha B'Av, we find an odd contradiction. We all know it's the saddest day of the year, fasting and so on. At the same time, we don't say Tachanun. As it says, Ikra Moyed. It's called the Yontiv. Now, how do we explain that? How do we understand that? So I want to share with you a most telling, fascinating actually, story that the Talmud relates. And it's interesting where it is found. It's at the end, at the conclusion of the tractate of Makkos. The tractate of Makkos is actually discussing all the laws of when a person is supposed to get physical beating, punishment. And there's 23 pages of discussing all the different laws. But all the way at the end of this Masechta, in other words, even when it's a place of Makkos, even when it's a place of being beaten, this is the conclusion of it all. But before I do this, no, we're not going to say Tehillim, because even this is a question, can we say Tehillim today? Not in the morning, in the afternoon. But we're going to say thank you, Ata Hashem, for everything. This we can definitely verbalize. And we're going to give some tzedakah, for sure, on the day such as Tisha B'Av. And let me share with you what the Gemara says. So the Gemara says the following. That Rabbi Akiva and his friends, we know some of those names from the story of the Haggadah, where they were sitting at the Seder, and it says the following. Kivan she'egiu lahar habayis, when this group arrived to the mountaintop, the mountain of where the Beis Hamikdash was built. They saw a fox that is just freely roaming, leaving the area where used to be the holies of holies. They started crying. Rabbi Akiva mitzachik, and Rabbi Akiva is happy. They tell him, what makes you so happy? What are you laughing? So he looks at them and he says, why are you guys crying? He says, why are we crying? This is the place that nobody was allowed to enter there. Only the Kohen Gadol on Yom Kippur, and only if it's in his best performance, best behavior. And now we have a fox, which is the antithesis of what the Kodesh HaKadoshim. Fox is the animal of lies. This is a place of the ultimate truth. And now it is walking in this area, shouldn't we cry? So he goes through, and Rabbi Akiva said, that's actually the reason why I am laughing. He says, what do you mean? Because he quotes a few verses, the verse of destruction and the verse of the rebuilding, and he goes to a whole explanation, this prophet and that prophet. We don't have time to go into the whole thing. You're welcome to go check it out, as I said, at the end of the tractate of Makkos. And he says, now that I see that the temple is being destroyed, I know it is going to be rebuilt. And therefore, I am celebrating. When they heard those words, then Rabbi Akiva says, in this destruction, I actually see the rebuilding. Amrullah, and the Gemara says, B'lashon hazeh amrullah. They said with this expression, Akiva nichamtanu. Akiva, they called him by his first name, they were friends. Akiva, you have consoled us. Akiva nichamtanu. They repeated it twice. What's happening? Didn't they also know the prophecy of the rebuilding? Only Rabbi Akiva knew the prophecy of rebuilding. And what do you mean you consoled us? The explanation is as follows, my dear friends. Rabbi Akiva sees in the Churban, he sees the light. In the destruction, it's not only that he believes it, He sees it. To him, the belief is an actual vision, is reality. They say to Rabbi Akiva, you consoled us, that this is a possibility. And we're also going to try to reach that. So, my friends, today on Tisha B'Av, while we mourn the destruction, we should celebrate the rebuilding with the mourning and the celebration. And Mirz Hashem, the fast will end early because we will be in Beis Hamikdash with Mashiach. Gut Yom Tov, Chag Sameach.